And hello and welcome everyone to the comic multiverse where the worlds of nerd meet. I am your very get not quite sick yet, but getting there host Joel. As you can tell, I've been blowing my nose like crazy. I've been trying to keep hydrated.
Yeah, you got the Venom flu.
I got the Venom flu. Here's the thing. I didn't think we'd be doing a spoiler cast on this. That's for the end of the show, Matt. We got lots of other ground to cover before we get to Venom, but yes, on my day off when I knew I was getting sick, I packed into a theater to see Venom because Matt saw it and because he saw it, I had to see it too, and we had to talk about it. And I didn't even really want it to do this. I just wanted to go to bed. So never say Joel never does anything for you.
You could have just said you'd seen it and then just like try to. You could probably have picked up the plot just from like the trailers.
It was basically all in there. But
Yeah.
again, we'll get into that. And I've only ever done that one time, Matt. Pretended I saw a movie and faked my way through it. It was back when we worked at Name Redacted. I only did it one time.
Really, what movie was it?
Oh God, I forget what it was. Some shitty one that I faked my way through. It might have been like Fantastic Four because I didn't want to go
Oh
see
yeah,
it, but
fair
then I
enough.
saw it again later after the fact. But yeah, still. But yes, believe it or not, everyone, we actually do have some news. I figured I'd structure the show a little differently this week. We will have the Venom spoiler cast as promised on the thumbnail for this, but I thought it might also be fun if we went through and kind of did a catch up on superhero TV right now because a lot of the new shows have either come back or are coming back.
Yeah, they all started. They started last week with the Flash, and I just before we started this finished the new episode of Supergirl.
Right on, so you can talk about that. And yes, we will talk about Titans also.
Yeah.
Which it's funny, when I heard Titans was coming out, I assumed they were going to do the Netflix model, and that is okay, they're going to dump the whole show at once, and I got to sit and I got to watch the whole thing. No, they're doing it episodically,
Yeah, one episode a week.
which is the one nice thing I can actually say about Titans, where I'm like, oh, good, because if I had to binge watch this and get it done by the 19th to watch Daredevil, I would be so fucking angry.
Oh yeah, no, that would have been pretty bad.
But we'll get to that when we get to it. Our first piece of news is actually a good piece of news and kind of a no duh piece of news as well. I'm shocked they didn't announce this earlier, but Ryan Coogler officially announced to write and direct Black Panther 2. Well, thanks.
Yeah, cool. It was to be expected when the movie like made a gazillion dollars. So yeah,
hmm I mean, as we said in our Black Panther commentary, which you should check out, Ryan Coogler thought of everything.
he did. He even thought about coming back.
He even thought about coming back, and back he will come to continue the saga of T'Challa the Black Panther. I can only assume for the sequel we'll get to see some interesting fallout. Like, okay, what happened to the kingdom after Black Panther decided he was going to meet the rest of the world, and after the rest of the world literally crashed into Wakanda and screwed him up with alien fights?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna leave the film in a really interesting place, and of course it depends as well at the end of Avengers for like what happens at the end of that. But yeah, very exciting. I'm excited to get another look into that world. I wonder who the villain would be.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, you did Killmonger and you did Claw. Those are literally the only two people that people know for Black Panther villains. And then you made the Man Ape a good guy.
Yeah, I kind of wish they didn't kill off Claw so they could use him as a villain in this one. Like he comes back for his like proper revenge against T'Challa.
They could always rebuild him, or they could always be like, oh, that was Ulysses S. Claw, but Claw, the villain who's kind of a robot made of pure sound, that's another guy.
That could be pretty cool.
That's an option they could do. Hell, we have so many more Fantastic Four characters now that that's all part of the deal, so no telling
Yeah,
who they could use.
yeah, definitely.
Black Panther versus Paste Pot Pete, the battle we've all been waiting for.
It's been culminating to this 25 movies on.
25 movies on, it's the battle you didn't know you wanted. They would never do it, but I really hope at some point we get to see the Wakanda Latveria Doom War storyline told at some point.
That'd be really cool. Or like if they ever get Namor back, like Namor flooding
Mm.
Wakanda or something.
Namor would actually be an excellent villain, I think, for Black Panther before he even shows up in a Fantastic Four thing. It's like, no, 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 we can have Namor, right? We can build him up here, and then he does his stuff with Fantastic Four.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially with what's going on right now in the Avengers comics. I think that would be great. They've really
Yeah.
brought back Namor as more of a villain.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't particularly think he was a villain in that. But yeah, I could see him
He had his
definitely
reasons.
Yeah, I can definitely see him transition over to. Okay, no, he's definitely going full villain.
He's an anti-hero, and it would work too because it would be a battle of kings versus kings, and it would
Hmm.
also be a good thing for Black Panther to be like, ooh, you're everything I could become if I let myself become too tyrannical, if I let myself become too much of a dick.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely really cool places they can go with this sequel.
I definitely think there's lots of interesting places to go with that, and a lot of I think a lot of pressure too for Coogler because Black Panther
Mm.
1 broke all the expectations and broke a ton of box office records. So like, what are you gonna do for your encore?
Yeah, definitely very interesting. I hope they make like they don't, and I think like Marvel's track record kind of proves they don't go
Mm,
over the top with the sequel, and it's a bit more
no.
personal.
Yeah, which I mean, the first Black Panther was very personal, so I
Yeah.
wonder how do you make that more personal? I think it also helps too that a lot of like the normal sequel pressure is kind of off because you are in a shared universe where it's like, no, it's not like you waited all this time to see Black Panther again. He was in Infinity War. He's going to be in Avengers 4.
Yeah, yeah. He's been around.
Mhm. He's going to be places. So,
Yeah,
there's definitely places they could go with it.
yeah.
Another story that came out this week, and this one was fucking unexpected. Oh, nope, sorry. I was actually going to try and see how far I could go in this episode without swearing. I don't know if you heard this, Matt, but apparently YouTube is going to start pushing you down the search order if you swear.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, because, advertisers hate swearing. That's why shows like South Park managed to last as long on TV as they did, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's the nanny state of YouTube, everyone. Oh, you can't have naughty words now. It used to just be you can't have naughty words in your titles and your tags. Well, now we just don't want you to have naughty words at all. But what if PewDiePie says the N word again? Oh, well, that's fine though.
Yeah, that's okay. He makes us money.
He makes us millions of dollars. He can do whatever he wants. He could punch our daughters if he wanted. In fact, hey, Pewdie, how about you get in there, punch some of our children? Again, YouTube, it feels like you're punishing everyone for the actions of just a few. Why don't you just punish the few?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. But yes, as I was trying to say, very unexpected piece of news this week. James Gunn officially going to be writing Suicide Squad 2, and the rumor is they very much want him to direct it as well.
Yeah, they got the guy who the first movie they tried to rip off to direct the second
Mhm.
film, which
Yeah,
apparently won't even be a follow-up. It'll be like a reboot.
it's going to be a reboot because of course it is because everything at DC is a soft reboot
Yeah.
now, and Suicide Squad actually lends itself quite well to a soft reboot because you can keep Waller and just have her be like, yeah, this is a brand new team.
Yeah, keep interchanging the teams.
That's what the comics do. That's
Yeah.
why Suicide Squad never gets old as a concept because as soon as you get bored of it, okay, new members now.
Yeah, yeah.
And you could even have like some winking and nudging. You could have Amanda Waller being like, yeah, we're not going to be a bunch of screw ups like that last team. No magic. No, no,
This is
that's
Amanda
no
Waller.
magic.
Has she learned her lesson though?
No, Waller never learns her
So we'll
lesson.
double down with more magic.
Yeah, more magic than ever. Also, Diablo's back alive again. Why not?
Yeah, yeah, he was like the only good character in that film. Why not?
He he had the best arc. Why not bring him back? But yeah, to think Suicide Squad 1 ruined itself in constant re-editings and in so much attempting to try and be Guardians of the Galaxy. So now they just got the Guardians of the
They
Galaxy
just
guy.
hire the guy that the movie they're trying to rip off.
Sure. To which, you know what? Good on James Gunn. I'm glad he bounced back. And you know what? In the back of my head, and we're going to talk about this a little later because this relates to another story. I'm kind of glad to see Disney, Marvel kind of have a little egg on their face on this one. You know what? Your
Yeah.
loss is your opponent's game. You deserve this, and I hope Suicide Squad 2 is awesome despite you.
Yeah, yeah, they completely deserve it for the way they acted and just knee jerk reaction fired him.
Yep. I hope Suicide Squad 2 is awesome. I hope whatever the producer, whatever the higher up was who contributed to the firing, I hope they feel really dumb. And I
Yeah.
hope James Gunn is free to do whatever he wants on this project, and it feels like he is.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping they don't like they say that they're gonna give him a lot, but then they get cold feet, halfway through production, and be like, no, we're gonna get a trailer house to edit the movie.
which is a very DC Warner Brothers thing to do to get cold feet halfway into a
Yeah.
project. Again, poor David Ayer. Apparently, he had a more complete movie in Suicide Squad 1, but they're like, no, we got to recut the whole thing.
Apparently, yeah.
Like, there's like a whole chunk of that movie on the cutting room floor we're never going to see.
Yeah.
Another little sub story on top of this is that when this news broke, Dave Bautista, who has been very vocal in his support of James Gunn and how lame he was treated by Disney and Marvel Studios, he's like, hey, can I audition for this one? Where it's like, ooh, man, there's supporting your friend, Big Dave. And then there's, I think you actually want to get fired.
Well, I don't think there's anything in his contract that says he could
No.
go work for DC, so nothing's
No.
stopping him,
No, there's nothing at all.
Unless Marvel and Disney have another knee-jerk reaction, oh, no, fire them, fire the whole cast.
Yeah, fire the whole cast, or starting now we have no compete clause, 60 days because of Dave Bautista, no competes.
Yeah.
No one can work for them. That would be the ultimate dick move if they did that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it'd be really interesting to see like if that does actually come through and like he does get a role. Like I'd love to see him as like Bane.
Yeah, a lot of people are pitching him for Bane because obviously, he's not 100% a white dude, and also same with Bane, not 100% a white dude. I think they should go less white dude for the casting because that's his thing. He's from Santa Prisca, from crying out loud.
Yeah, or better yet, cast him as like someone completely out of left field, like someone you wouldn't like, Quilt Man or Calendar Man or something.
Like, he's still big and jacked Dave Bautista, but he's playing like a ridiculous D-list villain, like Egghead from the Adam West Batman show. Dave Bautista is Egghead, just a villain obsessed with eggs. And that's okay. He can die halfway into the movie because that's what Suicide.
He can be this movie Slipknot.
Yeah, exactly. He can just show up, look cool for a minute, be in all the posters, and then die.
You've got to bring Slipknot back though. He's got to lead the team.
He's got to lead the team with his ability of ropes and climbing. There will be much more climbing in this mission than the first mission. Again, too, it's like, well, does this mean that like Harley Quinn isn't going to be involved in this and the Joker? And apparently, the word around the campfire is that Suicide Squad 2 basically morphed into what is going to be the Birds of Prey movie that they're doing.
Yeah, apparently the guy who wrote the script before James Gunn came in, the script was very similar to the Birds of Prey movie, so that's hence why they scrapped it and let James write his own.
Actually, I heard the writer was a little upset because apparently Margot Robbie got attached to the project, and then she basically just took that with her and toured it as the Birds of Prey thing. He's like, but that was my idea.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, but you're not pretty, writer, so shut up.
I hope they don't bring back like Harley, Joker, or Deadshot. Like, I hope it's just a complete like no-name team.
Same.
Or something. Waller has to work with what she's got, and she hasn't got those people anymore, so
there's been a million incarnations of the team. You could literally pick and choose anyone. I want Scalp Hunter, and I want Bronze Tiger, and I want Cheshire, and I want Virtuoso. That's the lady who plays the violin.
Yeah, I'd put like Copperhead on the team, and
yeah, basically the entire like Gail Simone run when they were fighting the Secret Six. The other team, Count Vertigo, put him on there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good potential for that team. You could go all sorts of places with it.
Yeah. Now the question is is Jai Courtney going to get work?
Oh yeah, he needs it.
The standout role in that film.
Jai Courtney, the Taylor Kitsch of Australia. What is Jai Courtney doing these days anyway?
I don't know. Probably something that no one's ever heard of.
What's he doing? Drinking mostly, sleeping till noon.
He's just waiting for that role.
Just the Captain Boomerang solo movie. It's coming soon, right? Any day now.
I'm the villain in the Flash movie this week, I think. I don't know if I will be next week.
Yeah, that could change on a dime. Do you think he's going to direct James Gunn? And do you think the reason he's not directing now is that he's holding out for more money or more creative control or something?
Maybe trying to play hardball and negotiate. Maybe there's something like maybe he wants to be like, okay, I won't direct, but like maybe you can let me be like sort of like an architect for this universe and give it some type of direction
And personality. I
yeah
like that. Make me the creative czar. Give me the job that you seem to have thrust on Snyder for no good reason.
yeah
I mean, look, I clearly know about making interconnected universes. I clearly know about making this stuff work.
hmm
Also, I might be very motivated to stick it to my former employer. So basically, I'm my own Suicide Squad, is what I am. Oh man, what if that was the movie that if it was really meta, where it's like, and the calculator, a genius who everyone loved, was sent to jail, framed for a crime he did not commit. Now he helps lead Amanda Waller's Suicide Squad team.
Jesus.
What if it's just horribly meta and they have to fight an evil corporation with a cute mouse mascot? No, I think that's more petty than James Gunn actually is in real life. But if that was me, that's what I would do. And that's why Joel doesn't get these jobs. Just be pettying it all day and pettying it all night. And hey, you know what? Speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, this actually makes a really excellent segue to our next story. Ever since New York Comic Con, they've been building up and hyping up Donny Cates' new Guardians of the Galaxy run that will be starting fairly soon. And it's going to be a brand new team with only a couple people sticking around from the old one. And we got the final lineup fully announced this week, and it is a stacked and powerful cosmic team.
This is got to be like one of the most powerful Marvel teams, but be one of the most powerful Guardians of the Galaxy teams.
It's the Annihilators. It's literally the Annihilators is what it is. It's the only two members who are sticking around are Groot and Star-Lord, which again makes me wonder, is Gamora going to make it out of the end of Infinity Wars? Are they going to kill her off? Are they going to kill Drax off? Why isn't Rocket Raccoon there anymore? You know, he's like one of the most marketable members of the team.
Interesting. Yeah. Who else we got? We got Darkhawk.
Darkhawk there, who they've been trying really hard to launch Darkhawk, haven't they?
He got like a really cool Infinity Countdown series, which has spun off into the Sleepwalker Infinity Wars series and all this.
Which I did not read, but I feel like I might have to start now.
It's pretty cool.
Silver Surfer, who is back again to being the Herald of Galactus.
Yep. Beta Ray Bill, who's been in the Death and Inhumans book.
Who was also on the Annihilator, so it's cool to see him in Silver Surfer back. Gladiator.
Yeah.
Again, another Annihilators connection there.
Yeah, Adam Warlock.
Adam friggin' Warlock. Again, too, you want to talk about power. That's a powerful team. And that's even before you mention you got like Moondragon there, who I've been saying forever we need more Moondragon. I love Moondragon. And it kind of makes sense where it's like, if Drax is gone or dead or whatever might happen, it's cool that his daughter takes up the mantle in the team.
We got Moondragon and Fire Lavelle, who I believe are the two from that other universe that had the 616 universe's Reality Stone in it, because they came to the 616 universe in the most recent Infinity Wars book, so they probably sticking around.
See, I didn't read that yet, but I feel like I should, because they were all cool in punk rock and they had tattoos and big swords and everything.
Yeah, we got Cosmic Ghost Rider, because of course.
Because Donny Cates loves Cosmic Ghost Rider. I'm like, okay, Donny, you made me read that awesome Thanos story, which I kept meaning to do a video on, but I never did, where it's like he created Cosmic Ghost Rider and King Thanos of the future. I'm like, well, I won't have to read this Cosmic Ghost Rider miniseries. I don't think it's going anywhere. I guess I got to read it now.
It's so good. It is so good.
All right. You win again, Cates.
Future Thanos that's raised by Cosmic Ghost Rider is the Punisher.
I saw that. I'm like, okay. It seems like you're just writing stuff from my dream journal at this point.
It's so good.
I feel the editors being like, Cates, you did it again. And yeah, we talked about this being maybe one of the most powerful teams in Marvel. I guess they have to, because the Avengers is so stacked right now with their most powerful members.
Yeah, they've got a really good team as well. All the teams are like getting like their most powerful like incarnations recently.
It's true. Yeah, what's not to love about it? So yeah, definitely expect more talk of this Guardian series, because I mean, basically everything Cates has touched in the last little bit has worked. I mean, hell, he made me care about Venom.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he can make Joel care about Venom, he can make anyone care about anything. He's just that good. But hey, you know what people didn't care about, Matt? And that's going to lead us to our next story.
What's that?
Iron Fist, because Iron Fist is the first Marvel Netflix show officially canceled.
Oh, what a shame.
This
God
is my
damn.
shocked face. This is the face I make when I'm shocked. I wish I'm more shocked, but I'm really not.
Nah, I'm not either. They
And
could just
I'm
never
sure,
work out what to do with him.
no, they didn't. They had two shots at it. They had like multiple episodes to try and make it work. And now that you're heading into season 3, it becomes unviable because it's like, wait. You're telling me to watch Iron Fist season 3 and keep up with everything that's going on. I have to watch one season that's really crappy, one season that's like mediocre at best but pretty boring to hopefully get to something good.
Well, not only that, they didn't know. They had no idea what to do with Danny Rand, so they turned him into Awesome Randall at the end,
Yep,
and gave his power to Colleen Wing.
which leads me to believe, or led me to believe, I'm like, oh, okay, no. See, they're getting tricky about it. They're canceling Iron Fist, but they're greenlighting Daughters of the Dragon, starring Danny, is what they're gonna do. They're gonna trick people into thinking it's a new show when it's not.
Yeah.
But right before we started, I read an article. Apparently, Netflix isn't developing any new Marvel shows anymore.
Yeah, kind of makes sense, especially since like why would they do that when Disney have their own like why would they make stuff for the competition?
They got their own app now, which makes me really worried about the future of these Netflix shows. Like, don't be shocked if it's like, hey, Daredevil season 3 is the last one. We started with Daredevil and we ended with Daredevil. Wasn't that nice, everyone?
Yeah, we still have Daredevil, Punisher season 2, and Jessica Jones season 3.
Yeah.
So there's no Luke Cage announcement has been made, so that's probably
Nope.
not going to get a season 3.
Which is unfortunate because they ended that in a really awesome place.
Yeah.
No new Defenders either, to the point where Charlie Cox is like, I would like to see them make another Defenders. I was like, I bet you would.
Yeah.
Apparently no one else wanted to see another Defenders, which is a shame. They said, oh no, just because he's gone doesn't mean Finn Jones couldn't show up in other shows. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, which is sad to say. I mean, I really hope before it's all said and done, but we probably won't see it. I want the full Power Man and Iron Fist, but now I think they've written themselves into a corner where we're not going to get it.
Yeah, no, I have a feeling we're not going to get that.
Sad. Also, I would like to throw all the blame at Scott Buck for this one, but even he would be like, but I only did season 1.
Yeah, but well, you could because like he's the one who set it up for it to basically fail. Like
He shot it in the foot
Yeah.
when the race was just starting.
yeah, same with Inhumans.
Yep,
It's all his fault.
friggin' Scott Buck. Where is he now? Still working on stuff, I'm sure, because it's Hollywood and you only fail upwards in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah, shame for Iron Fist. I have hope that maybe one day we can get a mulligan on this series. Maybe one day they can do it right.
Yeah, well, people have been saying, oh, it's possible that like it could be like revived on the app, on the Disney streaming app, as in some way, and like yeah, that could be cool, but you'd probably have to do it like just reboot it, basically.
Yeah, it's like you got to start over. And hey, if you start over, here's the thing: steal the Lost formula is what you do. Have Danny fighting street crime in New York, and then every episode flash back to something from Kunlun and see how it relates. I don't know. That slam dunk was right there for 2 seasons worth of writers, and no one did anything with it.
Yeah.
That should have been so obvious.
Yeah.
Bothers me that they never did anything with it.
No.
So yeah, Iron Fist, we hardly knew you. We will pour this 40 out on the curb for you. But maybe not all the 40. Maybe we'll keep some of the 40 for ourselves, though. You get a little sip, Iron Fist. I mean, if nothing else, it means our binge-watching schedule got a little lighter.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Just a little bit. Don't weep for the shows that are gone. Be happy for the time you will no doubt be able to save for other things. But yeah, so as one show dies, another show potentially rises. Apparently CBS is developing a Secret Six pilot.
What the fuck, man? Like, DC just released their own app and they couldn't do it on there?
I know. I got 100 messages from people being like, Joel, aren't you totally psyched? Aren't you, like super happy? Isn't this your favorite team? Yes, it is my favorite team. Yes, I'm a little excited, but I'm a little more wary for reasons like Matt said, where it's like, you guys started an app. Shouldn't you have put it there?
Yeah, like your app is like starving for content basically right now.
Uh,
Why not
I'm
just put it there?
I'm further suspicious, and I further raise an eyebrow. In fact, the Secret Six, the one who wrote the one that Gail Simone, a bunch of people asked her on Twitter if she knew anything about it or what she thought of it, and she basically said, "Hey, I wrote one incarnation of the Secret Six. There's actually been like quite a few, so there's not even anything that tells us what version they're developing."
Yeah, and for all we know, it could end up being like something that's not really comic booky at all.
Yeah,
It's just you probably won't have any costumes or anything, or if they do, they'll be really crap.
it's a spy show. We took the name.
Yeah, that I guarantee you that's probably what it's going to be. Though it'll be
Oh,
a loose adaptation.
it sounds very loose, like the little blurb they gave about it, where it's like, oh, six amazing individuals blackmailed by a mysterious unknown, yada yada,
Yeah,
to fight against evil corporate crime. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like the Secret Six.
yeah, no, it'll be like a yeah, like a crime show that you get on like a CBS or something, with a
Yeah,
weekly case or something.
yeah. I'm like, it seems like you took like the barest bones of it, and you're trying to adapt it. And I bet we're not going to get Scandal Savage, and I bet we ain't going to get Bane. And I certainly bet you that what is it, Mockingbird, the voice that brings them all together, isn't going to be revealed to be Amanda Waller.
No, no, I guarantee you none of that will happen, and we won't even get goddamn Catman.
Yeah, of course. Oh yeah, hey, spoiler for an almost 20-year-old comic now at this point. Mockingbird, the Secret Six's mysterious boss, was revealed to be Amanda Waller,
Yeah.
which was really clever because like Lady Flag Smasher is like, really, we're running both teams at the same time and you set them against each other? Geez, Amanda, does your left hand even know what your right hand is doing most of the time? Nope.
No, not at all.
That's one of my favorite Amanda Waller moments, that she is so corrupt and so mired in sleaze that
Yeah.
she's running both of the big covert villain teams and neither one knew. God, I love that. You find that out in the big Blackest Night crossover, which was Suicide Squad versus the Secret Six during Blackest Night.
Yeah.
That's an awesome story. But yeah, that's the Secret Six news, everyone. I will keep my eye on it, but I am very, very suspicious.
And that's even if it gets made.
And that's even if it gets made. They just say they're doing a pilot. There's a lot of pilots that don't get made, like that Scalp TV show pilot that didn't get made, or that Six Gun pilot that didn't get made.
Yeah.
I know it seems like they'll greenlight any show, but apparently they won't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, from there to a kind of more serious topic, and again, this I always hate bringing the mood down like this, but it was one of the biggest news stories of the week, and I feel like I had to talk about it. I also didn't really know what to say about it because I didn't read the dude's work. I know you did, Matt, because he wrote Star Wars, but Chuck Wendig, fired from Marvel, admits Twitter controversy, and I put controversy in finger quotes.
Yeah, yeah. I actually kind of woke up to this news, which is it's really strange because it happened like a week after he got announced that he's writing a new comic.
Yes. Which they canceled outright. He's fired, and they canceled the new Darth Vader
Did
book.
they cancel it? Because I heard he's already done up to issue 4, and he's been taken off issue 4 and 5.
Right. According to him, he canceled it. Again,
Okay.
I went through a very lengthy. If you want to hear his side of the story in greater detail than we ever could, he has a blog post about it. Basically, this again, I mentioned, I bring up the James Gunn thing again. Felt like there was a bit of a coordinated smear campaign attempt here to get this guy to fly off the handle and to get him fired because people didn't like him because he had the audacity to put some gay characters into Star Wars.
See, I don't believe any of that because there's other writers of Star Wars who've been doing LGBT characters very well, including Kieran Gillen on the Dr. Aphra book. I think Claudia Gray's written some in a couple of her novels.
Right.
So they're all, and they were really good. They were excellent. No one's yelling at those guys. I think it's more
That we know of.
more to do with the fact that the guy goes off at literally anyone on Like for instance, that he wrote a Darth Vader annual recently,
Right.
and it basically it ruined continuity with where it was taking place, and people brought that up to him like, hey, this doesn't really fit, and he actually got really, really, really upset and didn't want to um take any advice or like, admit
Right.
that he was wrong or anything. And some of
I
his
did see a
tweets
lot of
aren't
Star
very
Wars.
professional.
No, again, I saw quite a few because obviously they get screen capped and shared around. I also did see, what is it, quite a few Star Wars fans basically dancing on the dude's metaphorical grave that he was fired, which to me is never cool.
No.
And again, as we see all too often, again, as we saw with James Gunn, as we saw with Chelsea Kane, you can't paint them all with the same brush. But when I first saw the story, I just chopped this up to, oh, are we bending over backwards and capitulating to some of the worst people on the internet again, Marvel? You're making this a bad look for you. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, his tweets aren't great. No, they're not good. But again, are we going to start taking morality from Mr. Akira Yoshida, the editor who in my mind I think screwed up even way worse, but he gets to be editor? And also, what about other writers who fly off at the handle who are famous hotheads like even Dan Slott, who I like, but he doesn't get in trouble? It feels like, what is it there, that Marvel's being a little picky choosy about who they fire, who they punish, and who they don't.
It is very, very strange. Like, yeah, they'll fire James Gunn, and then they'll fire
Mm.
this guy, and then yeah, but they won't do anything about like these, like what you said, like all these other writers. It is very strange.
Again, I think, and I don't know if it's a Marvel thing or a Disney thing, is
Mm.
what it is. Like, where does this strange culture come from? And again, I tend to fall on the side of the writer most of the time. And again, you read this dude's feed. Yeah, he's a bit of a hothead, but also too, he was getting prodded at pretty hard from like the beginning. And if you hear his side of the story, it's like, yeah, I might have flown off the handle too. I can't really judge it because I don't read as much Star Wars, and but it just feels like a bad scene, and it just makes me feel uncomfortable across the board as both a reader and a podcaster and a fan and everything else.
Yeah, yeah. I know a lot of people, a lot of Star Wars fans weren't very happy with him with his first couple of books in the aftermath. Like, I didn't like the first one. I liked the second and third one quite a bit.
Mm.
Um, but I think a lot of fans didn't like them because they were like the first big thing in this new canon, but they didn't really do much. Like,
Right,
they were just sort of like a non thing, and like
right,
I think he had like run of whatever he could do, whatever he wanted, and they he chose to basically do nothing. And also, like, it was the first book in the new canon, and they didn't offer it to someone like Timothy Zahn or Michael Stackpole or
right,
someone like that when
right.
they probably should have. I could
Mm.
understand that, but yeah, I know what you mean by like, yeah, there's just like a lot of people that are hating for like no real reason.
For no real reason at all. And it seems like Marvel capitulates way too much to the
Yeah.
loudest shouter. And again, you can't paint it all with one brush. I don't know. I wasn't in the room. I
Hmm.
can't say for it. Heck, I didn't even really read the guy's book, so I can really only see it from a cultural thing. I will say I did see some rather interesting Twitter discussion. I'm sure you saw it too, Matt, because we follow more or less the same people. But it was like fans being like, "Hey, creators, we love you, we respect you. Don't feel like you have to play shithead whack-a-mole every day with these things. Feel free to write and be a creative, and we'll yell at these people for you. How about that?"
Yeah, they. I think some writers do get caught up in it a little bit too much, and they feel like they have to respond to every
Yeah.
single piece of criticism, which I think is what Chuck was actually doing.
Yeah. And I mean, heck, we get it, and we're not even working for a major company. We just work for ourselves. And some days, even I have to take a step back and be like, nope, nope, they're baiting you, Joel. Don't,
Yeah,
don't you bite their hat. They want you to do it so they can screen cap it and so they can continue to be a dick about it. Just mute, block, do whatever. But that's not easy for some people. And again, I get it on a little teensy tiny, D-list internet celebrity scale. I can only imagine what it would be like if you took the whole reins of Star Wars. It's sad that a man doesn't have his job anymore, but a lot of the industry has seemed to get behind him, and I'm sure he'll land on his feet because again, as we've seen with James Gunn, you're never really down and you're never really out.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so that's our 2 cents on the story. I feel like, my thoughts haven't really changed, and I hate to say it, but I'm sure we'll be back here again when this no doubt happens again, because I don't think this is going to stop anytime soon.
No, I imagine it's going to definitely happen again at some point. With Marvel, I think as well.
Yeah. And again, where it's like, you want to contrast, compare it to DC, it's like, hey, DC, you had a pretty large troublemaker in your ranks for a long time who went unchecked. We know his name. We won't say his name. You didn't make a big deal about firing him. You kind of cowardly waited till his contract ran out, and then you
Yeah.
just didn't rehire him and severed all ties. Just saying, guys. No one's hands are clean in this situation, is all I'm saying. But hey, from one talk of creators to another talk of creators, obviously the Titans show premiered this week. It's going to be one of the first shows we talk about, but something I didn't even notice until Jerry Conway brought this up on Twitter.
hmm
But the Titans show failed to credit George Wolfman and Perez for their work on the Titans.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't notice that as well. And then yeah, I saw Jerry's tweets, and I actually went back just to make sure. And yeah, lo and behold, like they don't like what the hell.
Yeah, it just said DC or characters created by DC Comics. It's like, yeah, but also two guys who have names. Why aren't you
Yeah,
putting their
the
names on it?
company didn't create them. These two guys did that happened to work for
DC,
said company.
DC film and television is really fucking bad at this because they do it all the time. Quite famously, in that Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern movie, they say "made famous by Jeff Johns," and I'm like, yeah, but Johns didn't invent him though,
Yeah,
nor did he create him. Yeah, he had a lot of good runs, and that's what you're taking from, but I think the original creator deserves their due. They tried to do the same thing with Jonah Hex, where they approached Jimmy Palmiotti and they're like, "Hey, can we say made famous by you?" And Palmiotti was like, "Well, no, because you're not really using my material in this. And also, I didn't create Jonah Hex." And famously, Conway, too, who I'm sure is super sensitive about this stuff because he is continually getting screwed out of name recognition. Firestorm, quite famously on Flash, they didn't have created by him, even
yeah.
though he did.
Yeah, they're very fast and loose with like they'll say it's for some people, like obviously every time like a Superman family character creates, they have to do they're like required by law to
Yeah.
do like the Siegel and Schuster and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, then there's like other characters who they're just so fast and loose with, like, oh,
Mm.
this guy wrote a really famous role, we'll put him in there, not the actual person who created these characters.
I mean, maybe it's just a laziness factor. Maybe they don't want to actually
Yeah,
go through and look at, even though, I mean, come on, like 2 seconds on Wikipedia can help you
yeah,
figure out. Or maybe the reason we see the Batman, Superman creators so much more and so much stuff is because they're dead. And if you put
yeah.
a live person's name on something, they might want some money,
Yeah, well, the like with the Superman one, I'm fairly certain that like Schuster's family gets money from that, like because
as they should.
there was that big like uh case a couple of years ago where like they were working out how to do the naming rights for it all and
Yeah.
everything. But yeah, yeah, maybe it's because like yeah, it's easier to put like Bob Kane, Bill Finger's name on stuff because they're not around anymore, whereas someone like Jimmy Palmiotti is.
Yeah, and then you get into like extra murky waters too of like, well, do Wolfman and Perez still own a stake in their characters, or did they sign them away as most comic writers of their day did, to where legally they don't own it? Are they afraid if they put their name on it, that could strengthen them to take legal action later on to be like, yeah, but look at this show though, Exhibit A created by me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we might not even have all the facts. They might have approached these guys like at some
Yeah.
point and said, "Do you want?" And they went, "No, we'll do this instead or something," or you know.
I, I mean, for the record, Titans is fucking lame, so I can
Yeah,
understand.
yeah.
And nothing like Wolfman and Perez's creation,
No,
so I
no.
can understand if they didn't want their names on. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. Wolfman, I know, who I follow on Twitter, he had no idea. I saw him on Twitter being all excited, like, "Oh boy, I'm about to watch the Titans show."
Oh no.
So he would have been slapped in the face twice. He would have been like, "Oh, they didn't put me and Perez's name on this, huh? That feels unfortunate. Oh no, the rest of the show."
Yeah, and then at the end it's like, I'm glad my name is not on there.
He's like, you know what? That's fine. That's fine. I'm glad you didn't put
Yeah,
my
Jeff
name
Johns
on
can
that.
have his name on there.
Yeah, and Greg Berlanti and
Yeah,
Akiva Goldsmith as well.
yeah,
Talk about another dude who continually seems to fail
yeah.
upwards. God, I never thought I was good enough to work in Hollywood, but apparently I'm too good to work in Hollywood is the problem. Need to lower my standards and turn out more garbage is what I need. That's my problem. But yes, with that, everyone, we can get into our spoiler cast catch up portion of the show. So, yes, we will have spoilers for some TV stuff. If you're not caught up, be sure to save this for later. And if you just came here for the Venom stuff, that will be the tail end of the show. So, with that, let's hop into Titans, which Matt and I both watched this week.
Yeah, I really wish I hadn't. That's 40 minutes of not getting back.
Man, be sure to watch this show with protective gear because you will cut yourself on the edge.
It's so edgy. This feels like it was like written, shot, and produced like all within the span of like when like Batman vs Superman was coming out, where
Yes.
they thought, oh yeah, this people are gonna love this adult gritty stuff.
Which makes it seem even more ridiculous because it's like,
Yeah,
but isn't DC Film trying to get away from this
yeah.
and distance themselves
Which
from
makes me
this? Aren't
think
they
this is like
soft
something
rebooting
they
it?
did like years ago, when they still thought that sort of stuff.
And that they just shelved and just,
Yeah.
yeah, sat on. I'll tell you this, though, man. I didn't think I'd be laughing as much as I did. There are some truly just moments of unintentional comedy in this.
There really are. One I couldn't stop laughing at is when Raven decides she's going to leave home after witnessing her mother being brutally murdered,
Yeah.
and come to Detroit, and there's like happy music playing. I'm like, what the
That's
fuck is going on?
That's hilarious. The scene that had me killing myself is when it's the bit from the trailer where Robin brutally beats up and murders. He murders
Oh
them.
fuck!
They're
He
dead.
stabs the guy with a gun slide like in the throat. He's fucking dead.
He's dead. A bunch of drug dealers. And then it's not enough that he grinds the one drug dealer's face against the glass in something that, like, first season Daredevil would have been like, whoa,
Yeah.
that's a little too much, dude. He then basically river dances on the dude's head. Just, and we're supposed to take it seriously, but, like, there's a guy in a cape and a domino mask just
Yeah.
kicking the shit out of someone on the street. It's just unintentionally hilarious. And then the cherry on top is that's the moment where he goes, "Fuck Batman."
Yeah. It's not like it's not said. It's said in like a way like, yeah, fuck him. I hate him. He's terrible.
It's so ridiculously over the top. I had to think for a second, like, am I watching Kick-Ass right now? This feels like this is taking place in the Kick-Ass universe, only there's no jokes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no jokes, not allowed jokes.
Also, the team is called Titans. The show is called Titans. Robin is an adult.
Yeah,
Starfire is an adult. Raven is a teen. She goes to high school. And I'm gonna guess Beast Boy is a teen too, but he looks
yeah,
older.
yeah.
What is up with DC and these weird like generational gaps they invent for themselves on teams?
I don't know. It's so strange, especially this when they could have been easy. You could have easily made them all teens, but no, we got to have Dick Grayson as a cop for some
Which
reason.
he was in the comics, but even still, why? And also,
Yeah,
this made me feel uncomfortable too, where it's like, okay, well, we don't have the money to create a Gotham City, so we need somewhere that is equally as hellish and crime-ridden that exists in real life, but also will be really cheap and let us exploit it and film there. Oh, Detroit.
yeah. Oh yeah, perfect. Absolutely perfect.
This show is so cruel to Detroit, like unintentionally cruel, but really cruel to Detroit.
It is. It really is.
Drug dealers congregate in the open and don't go to the shelters, though, because they'll try and get you into prostitution. Just wow, just everything about it. Hey, remember, and like, just so much of it is so wrong.
I
Where
know.
it's like, hey, Starfire from the comics, who was a happy-go-lucky alien who was basically cousin Balky, who had so many misunderstandings about Earth culture, but had such a good heart. What if we make her an amnesiac who sets people on fire?
Yeah, and who is quite clearly like a high paid escort and
That's
prostitute.
this show is weird about the women characters. Like this show feels gross a lot of the time, where it's like out of the blue that one guy on the bus calls Raven a slut, and I'm like, where did that go? That didn't
Jesus Christ.
I'm like, that didn't go anywhere. Then the mother brutally shot in the back of the head. Also, there was a little girl who got beaten up and possibly molested by her drug dealer father, and that's what makes Robin need to go in and beat them up. And the fact that, yes, they seek to be implying that Starfire is some sort of high-paid escort.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, Teen Titans go, yeah.
Yeah. Meanwhile, there's like an animated Teen Titans movie in the cinemas at the moment, which is completely different.
Whoa, just friggin'
It's two ends
this
of the
whole
spectrum, no in between.
yeah, no in between at all, zero in between. I just don't even know what to say about this show, and I'm like, no one's likable. I'm not having fun. What am I supposed to latch on to here?
Yeah, it's just you can't like anyone. I suppose you could probably like Beast Boy for his little bit in this, where he like breaks into a shop and like steals some video games because he wants to
Yeah,
play some video
he's
games.
a thief now. What?
Yeah. But like even then, you're like, no, he's like a thief. He's a criminal.
Also,
Robin's
at
killing
least
people. I don't know what the hell Raven is, and yeah, jeez.
yeah, that's the thing. Beast Boy gets to be the best because he's in the least amount of the show, and at least he's just a thief, not a murderer.
Yeah, well, he could have. I imagine there was like a scene where he like mauled that security guard to death as the tiger, and they're like, "Nah, we'll cut that."
I'm terrified too because it's like, oh, this show's gonna have the Doom Patrol in
Yeah.
it, isn't it? What's the dark and gritty Doom Patrol gonna be
Well,
like? And oh, Hawk and Dove are in here, and we've seen them killing people in the trailer.
well, that's the thing. Like with the Doom Patrol, we know, like obviously they're going to be out, and they got their show coming out soon. But apparently, like their show is all like it's really kind of funny. Like from people who have seen stuff on it, it's like really funny, and like there's humor there with like Robot Man and all these people. What are they going to be like? Is there going to be like a complete night and day here, whereas like in here they're all gritty and like we hate each other, we hate ourselves, or in the show they're going to be like Guardians of the Galaxy or something?
It is Greg Berlanti, and maybe this is him trying to make the CW universe stuff strike again, where he's like, no, Titans will be our Arrow. It needs to be really dark and gritty and really be aping off Batman. And then the other shows will be lighter and funnier, and that'll be the counter-programming. Trust me, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's so strange, and it's got me even worried for like more of the stuff that's going to be happening in this season, because obviously we got Jason coming. Is like, have they like confused the characters where they thought like Dick was like, they just said Robin in like the script, so they're like, oh well, he's like killing people and grinding their faces against glass. Oh, this is Jason. This is it's Dick. Oh no.
Yeah.
We've got to have Jason in this episode. What's he going to be like? Is he going to be even edgier, or is he going to be exactly like Dick as Robin? Or
I mean, what is Batman gonna be like in this show? The fact that Robin's like, oh, I had to leave Gotham. You know, he was getting much too, aggressive and much too dark. I had to leave him or I'd become him. So you came to this city to maul drug dealers and stab them in the neck. Is that less than Batman?
See, it would have been good if like he said that, because he said that before he like beat up drug dealers and everything. Would have been good if like he said that and then like goes out and beats them, and as he's beating him he realizes he's becoming like the Batman, and he's like, oh fuck, I gotta stop this shit.
Also, if this is where you start with your team, where are you supposed to go? Because right now I really don't buy them becoming the Titans from the comics at all.
No.
It's like, how do you start at this level? How do you start at 10? You can't move backwards in a story.
No, well, apparently you can.
Apparently you can. Again, it's like, no, it's about them being dark and brooding and edgy and them learning to be the happy-go-lucky heroes. I'm like, no, that's not how heroes work. They start there, and when they're at their lowest, they become this point so they can remember what they used to be.
The movies tried this and failed spectacularly.
That's the other thing. It's like, did you learn nothing from the Snyder universe?
Again, this makes me think like all of this was developed around the time Batman vs Superman it was just about to come out, so they were all in that dark and gritty thing. And yeah, are we going to see like is the show going to like turn on a dime when we get up to the episodes that are like post that timeline where they're like suddenly it just changes on a dime.
But hey, it's okay, Matt, because they've already been greenlit for a season 2.
Oh, fantastic. If the show
I
continues
know.
like this, Jesus Christ.
But if it keeps bringing in these unintentional laughs, I'll have fun with it. But no, this definitely isn't going to be I need to see the new episode of Titans right away. It's like, okay, I've saved up a couple episodes, and maybe I'll
Yeah,
skim through them.
yeah. I'll bank a couple. I'll bank a couple before watching.
Yeah,
That might be the thing. Maybe it watches better in like a binge and not like
maybe.
a weekly thing.
Maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But hey, from one show that started to a show that's been back for a while now, and one that I think has actually showed a ton of upward momentum, and that is Gifted. Have you been watching Gifted, Matt?
I have been, yes.
This has been really solid.
It has been really good.
Yeah, we got some Morlocks in the last episode.
Yeah, that was really cool. I like how they've been like playing in like the X-Men sort of playground and like doing it in like a way that's kind of realistic but like still kind of true to the comics a little bit.
Yeah. There's moments that are shockingly accurate in
Yeah.
tone and theme, if in nothing else. Again, at the beginning of this episode, we see, what is it? One of the main characters talk to his father, who disowned him as a child because he was a mutant and he was like a super Bible thumper and everything. And he basically comes to watch him die, essentially.
Yeah, and it stops Marcos trying to he wants to not be like his father, and it's made
Yeah.
even more like difficult because he can't be there for his child who's with Polaris in that weird sort of place that's just down the road from them.
Yeah, again, you can see you can see sometimes the budgetary constraints on that show.
Yeah.
Also, the dad, who, of course, he was part of the Strucker family line, and his dad developed like a serum to suppress his powers. Now it's wearing off, and now he is getting powers now, but it's like really destructive and really bad for him and everybody.
Yeah, because he didn't get them when he was going through, I guess
Mm.
puberty, like when most mutants get theirs. So like, yeah,
It's really painful.
yeah, it's really painful and it's chaotic and it's pretty cool power though as well. It like melts metal or something, or
Yeah,
can
he's
like
a
melt
melter.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, can melt everything. That's fun. The mom is still being written like an idiot, which is
yeah,
unfortunate. We gotta get our son. We gotta get him back. We gotta save him from those people who kidnapped him. He left. He left
yeah.
willingly.
You were right there when he said, "I'm gonna go with these people."
Hmm.
You were right there.
And her being so blind and oblivious to the fact that her daughter's not doing good and that her husband is developing powers.
Yeah.
They really write her like a dumbass. I would feel bad if I was that
Yeah,
actress.
well, I don't think they know what to do with her. They're like, we've got all these cool
No.
stories for all these other characters. Like, what do we do with like the mom who's like really the only like normal like human person in
Yes.
the actual show?
Well, again, season 1, I will give them credit that, like, literally all of season 1 was her checking her human privilege, essentially, where it's like, oh, your family won't help you, the police won't help you, the hospital won't help you. You basically have to learn to start living all over again. And she is, but what do you do now?
Yeah. They're like, okay, we'll just put her here and then wait and see what happens.
Yeah. The son makes me laugh too. He's gone full Draco Malfoy
Oh
now with the
God.
platinum blonde hair.
Yeah, he's full emo.
Which he was a bit of a dickweed in season 1, and he was a little hard to like anyway. So the fact that they made him join the villain team, I quite enjoy.
Yeah. The villain team as well is really cool. I like that they got the Stepford Cuckoos in there, and
They're amazing.
yeah, they're really good. I really like them.
They're really, really solid. There's also even some really interesting B plots where, we had the Sentinel Services cop from season 1 who got fired, and they kind of covered up everything from the end of season 1. He's like, this has become like his white whale, and he's Captain Ahab, and it's
Yeah.
destroying his marriage that he keeps wanting to hunt these guys down.
Yeah, well, they basically they effectively mind raped him into thinking that
Yeah.
like his daughter died and like all this sort of stuff, and yeah, so he's got like good compelling reasons to come after
Oh,
these
yeah.
guys.
And it's good to follow the human side of that story and everything, and being like, imagine if you were just a regular working schlub in a world filled with mutants, you'd probably feel like this guy.
Yeah.
It's a real good study in powerlessness.
Mm. In a world
So
full
much
of powers.
Exactly. So much of superhero shows and movies and comics are all about living the power fantasy, but through this guy, it's like, nah, feel small, feel inferior, feel powerless.
Yeah.
He could start his own show called Powerless. But yeah, Gifted in general is good. The thing about Gifted too is I hope season 2 ends really strong because chances are this will be the last season because
Mm.
obviously the rights are moving around now and why would Disney want to keep making this show when they could cancel it and start their own X-Men show?
Yeah, or they could like keep it going on their streaming service and obviously change it a little bit so maybe it like fits in with the MCU or something.
I would love an Agents of Shield crossover with Gifted. I
Oh.
think that would be really good. They can't, but
It would be pretty cool.
it would be. I would just love Phil Coulson to show up there out of the blue. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gifted continues to be really awesome. The other new show that started this week was The Flash. It came back with the long-awaited brand new episode to kind of deal with the cliffhanger from last season.
Yeah, and I think it's surprisingly solid.
Yeah, it was a solid episode. You know, they definitely try and go for some big fan moments like, oh, he's got the suit from The Ring and everything. And oh, she said Shui, she's from the Batman Beyond future.
Yeah.
Like little fun moments.
Yeah, all that, yeah, and like how the suit was made by Ryan Choi and all this
Yeah.
really cool stuff. But let's just talk about that new suit for it. I'm not a big. I like the suit from the neck down. I do not like the helmet.
I like the suit in theory. I like it's redder. I like he has a clearer and defined belt. They are moving closer and closer to the comic book version, but you're right. There is something wrong with the helmet. I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something wrong with the helmet.
Yeah, I think it looks too big, and I think that's mainly from the way they shoot. They always like time and time again throughout this first episode, they shot it from like angles that like came upwards, so it like made it look like it was like like came out at the top and everything. Yeah, it didn't look very good then.
I also wish the ears were more well defined.
Yeah.
The lightning bolt ears, they should be bigger and stick out a little bit.
Yeah, I like the ones from the comics, how it's like round and then they got the little like curve in them and then the lightning bolts that going out the back. I don't know why they like stick them into the helmet.
Yeah, I respect them for evolving the costume. I hope they continue to evolve it. I think Flash has had more variations now than Green Arrow has. I think Green Arrow only changed his costume like once, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope they continue to evolve it and move it forward. And like, hey, you know, they clearly go back for other rounds of filming. They clearly do this in halves and everything. So maybe you can change it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to. But yeah, the episode itself was solid. You know, they had a villain of the week. They had Gridlock. That was fun.
Yeah.
They imply, you know, the big mystery villain for the season because every season needs a mystery villain.
Yeah. Cicada.
Sequoia, however the hell you pronounce it. The dude with the speed colt and the knife that's a lightning bolt.
Yeah. He showed up at the end of this episode. I like that like just didn't tease him outright. He just shows up and like seemingly murders Gridlock.
Yeah, I like that too. Boom, I'm the villain for this season. Learn my name.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked Flash's relationship with his daughter, though I found it very awkward with like Iris and everything. And obviously, there's something in the future or the past that happened between them. So yeah, maybe Iris dies or something, or
maybe this will be their what is it? Maybe they'll actually give Iris something to do this season and trying to figure out what that awkward thing is between her and her daughter.
Oh, she had something to do with the other last season. She was the team leader of Flash. Remember, she said that. Yeah, even though she wasn't.
she said it lots of times, even though no one believed her. I did enjoy Ralph Dibny this episode. I thought that was a really clever use of him. The fact that he is smart enough to grasp the time travel multiverse concepts, but no one told him, so he's figuring it out like 10 steps behind everyone else.
Yeah, no one figured to tell him that there was like multiple Earths. And I like that thing where he's like working it out on the board and it's like we call it like a many-verse.
We are now officially the comic many-verse, Matt. It's gonna mess up our algorithm and annotations when I change that, but there you go. That's fun too because obviously this show made him more of a dumbass, more in line with Eel O'Brien than Ralph Dibny from the comics. But I like they're like, no, he is smart and he can grasp and he can figure it out eventually.
Yeah, yeah.
I hope he keeps doing that all season, him just figuring out stuff late. Because we need a little extra something because we don't have Tom Cavanaugh anymore. We lost our Wells.
Yeah, which is a shame. I really liked Wells, and I like what they were doing with him. I can understand why he had to leave and everything, but yeah.
I liked Wells too. In fact, I think the seasons where you didn't have Wells at the beginning was actually the weakest.
Mm.
I think he's the missing ingredient on the show. I'm sure they'll find a way to bring him back. And you know what? Hey, while you're at it, I called bullshit on how you finished off Wells' story, how you made him dumb, but how he was happy being dumb because it means he could relate to his daughter more. That reeks of anti-intellectualism.
Yeah, that's very stupid.
Especially in this day and age, I think that's a terrible message to send that you'd be happier if you were dumber.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might be happier if you're dumber, but then, if everyone was like that, we'd be eating frickin' rocks and living in the mud and there'd be no podcasts.
Yeah.
Scientific advancement and smarty pants stuff is good, damn it.
Yeah. And as I said on Twitter, the one thing they needed to fix this episode is the goddamn Star Labs building.
5 years in running man, and they've yet to fix that roof.
And it's not as though it would take any time as well. They have speedsters that could do it in a couple of minutes.
It's clearly because they just had the one footage shot that they keep reusing over
yeah.
and over.
Yeah, they can't but the thing is why can't they just update the model they use in that shot? It's not even gonna take that much effort.
Is that building even there anymore in downtown Vancouver where they no doubt film it, or have they knocked it down? Is that why they can't?
It's not a real building. It's a completely CGI shot. That's what I'm saying. They could easily fix that.
Again, this strengthens my theory because again, who really owns Star Labs? I get the distinct feeling that they're all just squatting in that building.
Well, Barry's the CEO, but
right,
but where's how are they getting income to pay for the land of the building and the power and everything and
the utilities? Who is paying Cisco and Caitlin to show up? Because clearly they say, "Oh, where do you work? I work at Star Labs."
It's fairly obvious because they mentioned it in this episode. This is going to become the Flash Museum,
which they teased a couple seasons back.
Which why not start transitioning into that?
Yeah, I mean, it gives the building a nice thing for the season, too. Ooh, did you find this as awkward as I did? It's the only one complaint I actually have about it. But when Barry is talking to his future daughter, trying to get her to phase shift and help save the plane and everything, he gives the speech of the original Wells, who we know is the Reverse Flash. And they treat it as this really beautiful moment. And I'm like, that's the dude who murdered your mother, Barry.
Yeah, why are you giving his advice to your daughter? That's bad. No.
Which, again, hey, you know what would have been cool, and this is how I would have written it? He remembers it word for word, but he changes it coming out of his mouth. He kind of reclaims it and takes the advice back.
Yeah, no, that's too smart. We can't have smart things on this show.
No, he needs to repeat it verbatim. That's the one thing where if I was an intern on that, I would fight that one and I would risk getting fired. Be like, he should say something different. It's really weird that you guys keep talking about Wells as if he was one person, but there was many Wellses, and at least one was a killer. I'm sure it's complicated for you. It's weird in comics, but as a comic fan, I've come to, expect this kind of thing. you gotta make that difference when you talk about it, or people get mad. Also, don't forget the hyphen in Spider-Man.
Yeah, wait, we're on a Flash suit.
I know, I just want to bring it up. Well, why am I becoming Gary from Venture Brothers now? Hench for life. But, yeah, so that was The Flash. You saw Supergirl, too, and you had thoughts.
I did. Supergirl came back tonight as we record this, and I managed to watch the episode before we did this, and it was pretty good. It's set up it's cool. They actually did some really cool setup where they're okay, so Supergirl is going around the world, basically saving the world because Superman is out in space on Argo. So you can't be there to stop all these things in Metropolis and all these other places. So Supergirl's stepping up to do that. Hank and some other people are setting up like relief groups for like the aliens, because they find obviously there's
Mm-hmm.
like anti-alien sentiment in the world, which is
Right.
really cool. Alex is leading the DEO, which is really cool. She's got like a really awesome, like she got at the end, last season she got like a kind of like a powered suit from
Oh yeah.
Winslow. Like it gives her all these powers, and it's been updated in this, so she's got like these really cool gloves that that are kind of like give her like Magneto powers, sort of,
Nice.
and she can create shields and stuff, which is really cool. The bad guys, at least for this episode, and I imagine they're going to be throughout the episode because they're part of the villain Patriot or whatever his name is, Agent Liberty.
Mm.
Um,
Right.
Mercy Graves and her brother Otis,
Cool.
and yeah, they're sowing discontent in the human population against the
Mm.
aliens, which is really cool.
I like that. Very, very timely and very topical. I never would have thought Supergirl would be the topical show.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with the whole, because at the end of last season they teased like Red Sun Supergirl,
Ooh.
like Supergirl who's been raised in like the Ukraine or something, and we don't know what the
Mm.
hell happened to that, and it's not teased at all. So I imagine that's going to be like
Oh,
the overarching bad guy teased eventually or something.
right. Well, hey, I mean, again, I talk about the show being topical. Russia is very topical again, so Red Sun will probably be very topical.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. That's going to be pretty cool. But
I mean, just Red
I
Sun,
do wish
anything.
though they would stop poaching Superman stories.
I know, right? It's like Supergirl has her own stories, guys. You don't have
Yeah,
to keep doing Superman ones,
yeah.
especially because, God willing, one day they'll do a Superman show
Yeah,
on TV.
and he exists in this universe.
It would be nice if he had some of his own stories to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
But hey, I mean, they could never do a Batman show now because they basically stole all the Batman plots for Arrow
Yeah, or Gotham.
or Gotham. At least Batwoman is different enough, and at least she has some stories of her own.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so that's good to know that Supergirl is good and back strong.
Yeah.
I guess our last thing to talk about, and this will take us to the end of the show. Matt saw Venom. I saw Venom. Let's talk about Venom because people demanded it.
Did they really? Did anyone really demand it?
There was a couple people in the comments section. They know who they are who want to watch us suffer.
And suffer we did.
I mean, like, here's the thing. To compare it to Titans, as I think I will be much meaner on this show, Venom was surprisingly edgeless.
Yeah, oh, that's because it's fucking PG-13.
Because it's PG-13. Are there worse superhero movies? Yes, but Venom might win an award for being the blandest movie I've seen in a
Oh
very long
yeah,
time.
it was so goddamn bland. It's yeah, and as well. I saw like other people compare this, and I thought they were just be, it was just like hyperbole. But like it feels like a movie that was made in like the mid 2000s when like Marvel was doing
Yes.
like random like movies like Ghost Rider and Elektra and all that.
If
This feels
if
like
this
that.
if this really does feel like they traveled back in time to the early 2000s, picked this up in between like the live action Fantastic Four
Yeah.
and stuff, and brought it to the future and are just releasing it now for the first time.
Yeah, it feels exactly like it has like all the beats of those films. Like
Hmm.
it's even kind of like shot like that. There's no
Yeah.
like good shots of like I guess modern quote unquote like
Hmm.
cinematography or anything.
Feels like Tim Story directed it.
Yeah. Well. Yep. Yep.
I mean, it's again, I say that it's hollow and I say that it's empty, but that should really be no surprise because you're doing a Venom origin story, and the whole point of Venom is that Eddie Brock and the symbiote are brought together by their mutual hatred of Spider-Man, and that's what makes them an interesting villain and a force to be reckoned with. You have no Spider-Man.
Yeah. That's what I was telling the people I went to go see this with, like, because they're not really familiar with them. I'm like, no, you need Spider-Man to do Venom because yeah, the whole deal is the symbiote comes to Earth thanks to Spider-Man and takes a lot of his characteristics from Spider-Man.
Venom also looks weird now because he's just a big blob of
Yeah,
black. He doesn't have his most defining characteristic, which is
yeah.
the spider.
They do have like little white veins, but they obviously can't do it in the shape of like the spider. So it's just like a random assortment of veins on him that are white.
I was also really hoping too when I went into this, I'm like, oh, please be hilariously bad. Please be so bad I laugh. There's a couple chuckles here and there, but by and large, again, it's just kind of boring.
I got a really good laugh from that pussy line where he would takes the elevator down instead of jumping out the window. I thought
That's kind of funny.
that was kind of funny, but yeah, it's just so bland.
Yeah, apparently Venom's got jokes. Now, the bit that I laughed about is when like he actually gets the symbiote taken off him for the first time, and it's locked in the other room. He's like, "Yeah, you was killing me and stuff, right? I thought it was we, but no we anymore."
Let's talk about Tom Hardy's accent in this.
Like Bugs Bunny got kicked in the head by a horse. Yeah, Matey Brock, look at me.
It's so funny because he's like doing like he's trying to be like tough with like a little bit of a gruffness to it, but like it just comes off and he does like all these weird noises and everything, like just like stumbling and stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is he doing?
Again,
did he take too many Ambien before doing this or something?
That's what it feels like. Like, again, he spends the whole movie just sweaty and gross.
Yeah, and like when he's in is just covered in sweat, and I'm like, why? Yeah. What's going on?
And like when he's stumbling around the restaurant, just tweaking like a crackhead and everything, I'm like, is this supposed to be funny? This is more uncomfortable than funny.
Yeah. Like, what the hell is he doing? And he's like hitting people and eating live lobsters and.
And like, never have I seen a movie where I truly felt like, yep, that was a first take they kept in. That was a first take too. Yep. Oh, what the movie was put together in 3 months. These are all first takes. Yep, they feel like them.
Yep. Yeah. They're just like, quick. We got to set up the camera. We got to keep moving. We got to keep moving.
What about Riz Ahmed as Carlton Drake, who actually is a character from Lethal Protector? In fact, many names and places were taken from Lethal Protector. He's just full up Jesse Eisenberg in this one.
Yeah, he's wacky in this. He's just absolutely. He goes from like calm to like I'm insane because we need to go to the symbiote planet and live there. And
yeah, because I'm also Elon Musk. Like at least if nothing else, they kept his character more simple than Eisenberg's, where it's like, well, why am I evil? Because I'm Elon Musk.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to space with a car, and I make flamethrowers in the killer symbiote factory. You know who I felt bad for? Jenny Slate.
Yeah, her like character who's in it for like 5 minutes, if that.
Because I love her and everything else. I just got done watching her in Big Mouth for this season, and I'm like, oh, you're actually trying. You're actually treating this like this is a real movie.
Yeah, I made a superhero movie. I gotta try hard because these movies do good.
Yeah, and again, like you blink and she's gone because she has to serve a purpose and then get killed off.
Yeah, killed off screen, and then you see like the aftermath of that. So it's like, oh, there's something that was probably cut because it was I kept too gruesome.
Too gruesome, or my theory was, I'm like, ooh, is she going to be a symbiote too? Is she going to come back as Scream or Lasher or one of the other ones? Because they make a solid point of like, oh, there's multiple symbiotes in this. Because again, we're aping off Lethal Protector, the miniseries, where all the other symbiotes whose names you probably forgot were created.
Well, that's what I thought was going to happen to that one symbiote that was in that one guy who they thought was working. I think, okay, this is going to be like the henchman symbiote to Riot and everything. And it's like, no, that died off. That symbiote died off because reasons.
Riot, the main villain, or who becomes the main villain, spends the bulk of the movie just walking to the plot.
Yeah, that was so strange. As well as like it was a blink. I actually got told by the person I went with that there was a 6-month gap because I had taken my eyes off the screen for like 10 seconds to take a drink from my drink. And apparently something said 6 months later. So I'm like, whoa, with time jumping, and they've just been like walking around what I assume is China for like 6 months to try and get to the United States.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Matt, because time is so hard to keep track of in this movie, because it's like, oh, Eddie's fired. Eddie breaks up with his girlfriend. Then it looks like the next day he's living in a brand new apartment all his own. I'm like, he got that together pretty quick. And then it's like, oh, he gets all freaked out at night and goes home, and then we're back out at night again on the street, and I'm like, wait, did a day pass? What happened?
Yeah, there's no... Which makes me think, this movie is probably cut to shit. As Tom Hardy said, there's like 30 minutes cut from the film.
As he said to my friend Rob, actually, it was Rob
Yeah,
who asked him
yeah.
that question. I got to hear the real insight on that one. It was like, I didn't think he'd say it. I just asked him a basic question. What was your favorite thing to film? He's like, they cut 40 minutes from it. Like he was just dying to say it. Now, let's talk about Eddie as a character and how he makes no sense and is completely uneven. He's a crusading journalist. He's not a shitty tabloid journalist like he was in the comics. He's like,
Yeah.
Brock's people, Brock who cares. He fights for the little guy, but he doesn't defend his local corner store from getting shaken down. And he's not gutsy enough to tell his neighbor to quiet it down with the guitar until he gets the Venom symbiote.
Yeah, and then he suddenly is.
These two things don't match.
Yeah, and then then suddenly he's like, "Oh, we need to do good. Like we need to stand up to these people. I can do that now because I can bite people's heads off. I guess I don't
Because
know."
I've got space. Also, this is the other hard part when you make a movie about a villain. Eddie Brock isn't a good guy. There's a lot that's very unlikable about him, and the script couldn't decide if we were supposed to like him or not, because in the first 5 minutes, he invades his girlfriend's privacy, steals a bunch of important information, gets her fired, gets himself fired, and gets everyone else in a bunch of trouble, and he doesn't seem sorry about it.
No, he's like, "Yeah, I'll just find another job."
Yeah, doesn't feel sorry about it at all. And in the end, he's just magically forgiven.
Yeah, it's all good, and that's why you need Spider-Man. You need Eddie to be the foil to Peter, and set up
Yes.
like he's kind of a terrible person, whereas Peter's like a good guy and everything. And
Yeah.
yeah,
You see how making movies about villains doesn't make any sense when they have no hero to contrast themselves against?
no, yeah, they try to walk that line where he's like the villain, but he's also a hero, but he's a villain, and he's got to fight this other guy who wanted to go home and get more people because Venom can't go home because he's a loser. And
That really comes out of nowhere, where Venom just on a dime turns and says, okay, I want to help fight and
yeah.
defend Earth now. Why? Because you're a loser, Eddie Brock, and I'm a loser too. I'm like, really? Really? Furthermore, why are you a loser, Venom symbiote? And Riot is in charge? Because it seems
Yeah.
like you guys can do all the same stuff.
Yeah, that was another funny thing. They're like, Venom's like, "Oh, don't go against Riot. He's got shit you wouldn't believe, and he's got like knives and like
Oh
shit
no.
and like shit that like Venom could easily make." And like, oh, so scary.
Ooh, not yeah. God help us if when they inevitably do the Carnage thing and they tease the Carnage thing, it's just gonna be the same fight.
Yeah,
Carnage can't do anything that Riot in this movie didn't already do.
yeah. No, it's not going to be any different.
Man, Woody Harrelson's wig.
That's so
Jesus.
fucking funny. Why did they choose the wig? Like I know like Clear's Carter has like that Carter hair, but like just don't do it. Just like color his hair red. Just like Woody's natural hair red, and that'd be fine. He's
It's
in
even
prison. They
funnier.
cut their hair short in prison.
Yeah, it's even funnier because that was like the most attempt at costuming I had actually seen. Because if you look at Tom Hardy throughout the movie, he didn't try and dress him up like Eddie Brock. He's just dressed like Tom Hardy. I'm sure that's what he wore to set. And I know that because when you look at his wrist, he's got like his 5 different, man bracelets and everything.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy just wears that in real life.
It's like you have to pay for your own wardrobe, man, and that I reckon that's why he was so sweaty because like he just got done in the gym, like training for the movie's fight scenes, and like they're just like, okay, bring him to set and we'll start filming. It's like, oh, what about makeup and wardrobe? Oh, we don't need any of that. Just stay sweaty.
Yeah, that's all you. It's like he made the movie in between other stuff. It's like, Tom, we're making this in between, we got 3 months to shoot. It's like, okay, that's fine. I'll do it in between the gym.
Yeah.
Which, man, you want to talk about a movie where Tom Hardy gets controlled by a seemingly evil outside force and goes on a revenge quest. They made it. It was called
And
Upgrade.
it was much
Upgrade is
better.
Upgrade is a better Venom movie than Venom was.
It
Go
really
see
was.
Upgrade, everyone. It's basically the same plot.
And that movie gets going straight away. This one takes like Venom doesn't appear like fully until
Yeah.
like 20 minutes before the end, and even then
Too
he's very
long.
very sparingly used.
Also, it's a dumb thing too, and this is another like fanboy complaint of mine. Venom says his name is Venom, so Venom already comes packing the Venom name. Venom is not the union of Eddie Brock and the Clintar symbiote. Venom calls himself Venom, and together they become Venom.
Yeah, even Riot calls him Venom, and Riot's name is Riot.
And Riot's name is also Riot. It's not a new name created when we come together. So much for, the I'm poison to Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I'm Venom. Or, I spewed so much venom as a reporter and everything.
Yeah, there's no, you can't have any of that because again, don't have Peter Parker, don't have Spider-Man, don't really set up Eddie as like a tabloid journalist or anything, like someone who would spew venom and just bullshit, you know.
No, no, not at all. It is funny the things they did pay attention to and the things they did try and concentrate on. Like they make a point of saying, yes, the movie takes place in San Francisco, like Lethal Protector, the comic. They say that, oh, he lived in New York but came here, which is why he has the accent.
Yeah, the shitty accent.
As close as it is, which I'm like, man, you just should have said he's from San Francisco. Is what you should have done.
Yeah.
You really just should have gone with that. Annie, his wife, is a character from the comics. She became Lady Venom, and in fact, she becomes Lady Venom here too, in probably one of the weirdest
Oh,
three-way
that was
scenes
so
ever.
uncomfortable. That's so okay. Why is Venom kissing him?
Alien human three ways.
Oh no.
You sure this is PG-13? And the fact that Venom is interested in her too, even at the end of the movie. Hey, let's get together. Let's see what happens. I can take all sorts of shapes. Let's get creative. That's for the sequel. They got to save that for the sequel.
Oh god.
You got to get yourself some of that. But yeah, the Lady Venom thing, the Life Foundation, who was indeed, Venom villains from Lethal Protector. Even Treese, the name Treese was taken from a Venom comic. So I can't say the writers of this didn't read a Venom comic. It's just very clear they only read the one.
Well, I don't even think they read that. I think they flicked through it and said, it's San Francisco, Life Foundation, Carlton Drake. Okay, cool.
Also, Eddie Brock's love of hobos. He's friends to hobos everywhere because in Lethal Protector, he lived in a hobo colony, but he only lived in the hobo colony because he was a fugitive from New York after fighting Spider-Man.
Yeah, in here he's just friends with them. Don't
Friends
know
to
why.
hobos everywhere.
Again, they could have set up like, he uses them as like his network of like leads on
Yeah.
like, cases and stuff, but that
Like
never
Sherlock
happens.
Holmes.
Yeah, that never happens. He's just like friends with like the one that sits at the front of the store.
You see, Eddie Brock's a dick and a bad guy who invades his girlfriend's privacy, but he treats bartenders and hobos and people who work in retail very well, so he's a hero.
Yeah.
Also, too, that shakedown scene bugged me. You don't pull out a gun in a shakedown. The point is you're shaking them down and they give you the money. Then it's just a robbery.
Yeah, that was pretty much a robbery. And he stole stuff as well, so it was a robbery.
That confused me, but he made it sound like this was some sort of shakedown thing, and I'm like, well, that's not how you shake people down. It's you say you got a very nice store here. It would be a shame if something messed it up. I guess criminals in San Francisco just aren't very subtle.
Yeah, and Eddie should have because that happens at the end. He like kills the guy, and it's like, well, you're a reporter. Why didn't you find out who he was fucking working for and start doing a story on it?
Also, too, there's gonna be a lot of security cameras and a lot of people left alive who know you're Venom.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't think that was a problem, huh? The movie also just kind of ends, too, like, after he fights the police, it just kind of rushes to the end. Yep, just what this kind of felt like.
Yeah, the police stuff, like, he's just confronted somehow by a SWAT team that somehow know where he is. At all times.
Oh, that's my favorite line, actually. So Annie sees him beat up these cops, almost kill them, then says, get in the car, you're going to the hospital. Lady, did you see him become a monster? And I don't think the hospital's going to help him, lady.
Also, let's talk about the bike chase that has like the drones that like they don't shoot at you, they just crash into you. just explode in like a blue flame.
And man, you want to hear some sounds, Tom Hardy there.
I want someone when this movie comes out on DVD to create a like a Tom Hardy freak out like soundboard or something. It was just him going, just like yelling and shit.
It's please. In fact, I almost wish the movie had more of that, because if it had more of that, then it wouldn't have been so bland, and I might actually have been able to enjoy it a bit
Well,
more.
apparently, like they film stuff where like the symbiote makes Tom Hardy dance through the streets and stuff, and like all this stuff that probably Tom Hardy really liked doing and stuff like that. Because I think
Yeah.
he was having quite a bit of fun with that.
Yeah, like he genuinely seems to be enjoying this stupid, stupid thing. Like he knew what it was.
Yeah, yeah, he wasn't by the fact that like yeah we're making a serious superhero movie. It's like nah, this is probably going to be pretty crappy and
This is garbage. This is hollow. At least let me have fun.
yeah.
But hey, it made $80 million Thursday night. So I mean, I guess we're gonna get a sequel to this next year, and I guess we're gonna have to watch Craven and Morbius too.
Oh god. Uh, this is
Because
gonna
there's
get a
no.
sequel like straight away though. They're gonna fast track
Oh
a
yeah.
sequel.
Oh, undoubtedly, of course, 100%.
Avi Arad's already writing it. He's getting the cameras all ready. They got to film it in 3 weeks. It'll be out, in 2 months. He's gonna
Finally,
go
we
up
have
against that Captain Marvel.
finally we have our own cash cow in Venom. He is as popular as I knew he would be. I am Avi Arad. Let me make action figures now. But yeah, that was Venom, everyone. I didn't hate it as much as I thought I was going to, mainly because hate is a strong emotion, and I felt those strong emotions to this because it is so hollow and it is so empty and it is so
it
nothing.
it has to have something to hate, like, and the movie's so
Yeah.
bland that it doesn't have anything.
Yeah, like I would have been fine with like Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern, because like that movie tries, fails, and is insulting in what it tries to do. Venom isn't even insulting because Venom doesn't even try anything, which if all you want is just big gooey space monsters hitting each other, congratulations, because that's all the last 30 minutes are.
Yeah, yeah, you can't even tell what the fuck's going on.
No. No, you really can't. And again, you're not rooting for anyone. It is funny, though, that they actually, and again, in a better movie, this would have been clever. Both Riot and Eddie lose their symbiotes, and they have to have a human fight.
Yeah, I was kind of looking for like that kind of happened, yeah, but I wish it went on for a little bit longer than it did.
That was a smart idea, but then I'm reminding myself, I'm like, wait, Elon Musk nerd versus Scrappy Report. How is this fight even fair?
Versus Buff Tom Hardy.
Yeah, stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
He just picks him up with one hand.
But then I'm reminded too that in real life, Tom Hardy's like 5'0". He's like Tom Cruise sized in real life, and I think Riz Ahmed, I think he's actually much taller. So I'm sure that was very hard for them to film.
Yeah, hence why it was like long, like top shots of him and everything.
No, he's tall. We swear he's tall. Can't break the magic. Can't break the immersion. But yeah, that was Venom, everyone. It was what it was. Venom is to movies what broth is to food. It's technically food. It's technically a movie. Don't be expecting anything and you won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
You might even find some nourishment in it. Not a lot, though.
No.
But I mean, yeah, I wouldn't pay to go see it in the theater, but if it was on television and I found it one night, I wouldn't be upset.
Yeah, well, apparently, like, lots of people want to see it. And I guess it's probably because they think it's related to Marvel Studios. I guarantee you that is why.
Yeah, they're sure that's the first thing you saw. It's like, in association with Marvel. We're not really Marvel.
Yeah.
I'm sure somewhere, Fage, I know people always get upset when I pronounce it. I bet, like, in their war room, they're like, okay, this is the take it made. We really need to try harder to educate fans, being like, this Marvel, good. This Marvel, bad. There's two Marvels, a real one and a fake one. Don't go to the knockoff one. You won't like the knockoff one. Because, again, I talk to people, they don't know the difference. They know the difference between a DC and a Marvel, but they don't know the difference between Marvel and Marvel's other studios.
Yeah. People think they're going to see Spider-Man appear in this film, or like Venom's going to be in the next Spider-Man film or something, but it's not the case. And you got to tell them, you got to educate people.
Yeah. Be that person in your community. Be sure to educate people. Start your own seminars today to get people Matt, we should do that. We should go to like different schools all over the world. Like, how they would have like mothers against drunk driving. We should have like fans against Sony movies.
Yeah, know the difference. It could save you your life.
It could save your life. You see little Billy Hopkins here? He was a nice guy, loving life, having a great time. Him and his friends, they thought they'd screw around. They'd go see Venom at the theaters. Here's them afterwards, and they're scraping them out of their seats. You thought it was no big deal. Well, guess what? It is a big deal. Be smart. Make better choices. Or don't, whatever. We don't care. I mean, it's our job to see them regardless, so we don't give a fuck. And I'm not here to judge you. I'm the last person to judge you. I wish I could judge people. That's where I want to be in my career one day, where I can start judging people. But I'm sick. I don't know. Is that it, Matt? Is that the show for this week?
Yeah, that's. I don't want to talk about Venom anymore. There's nothing more to talk about.
And I'm sure we won't have to talk about it again until the next one.
Yeah, or until people tell us to do a commentary on it.
Oh, well, at least it's short. It's only like an hour and a half. It's literally about as long as one of our episodes.
Yeah, about this episode.
So don't discount that, Matt. We might just do that.
But we have more content than the Venom film.
Yeah, we have a through line, and we have themes, and we have character growth, we like to think. Joel was sick in this episode. That was an interesting choice. But yes, everyone, thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show. We will be back again next week, same time, same place. As always, you can go to SoundCloud the day after the show airs on YouTube on Thursday if you want to download it. Everyone else gets it. If you're a patron, you'll get it first as soon as we're done here. I wanted to send a special thank you to DNGN, who is our newest patron, and because he's a patron, he will be getting the episode first, right when we're done here, right when we're done recording, both an audio version from me and a video version from Matt.
Awesome. It's a really good deal as well. You get to see it all before everyone else and comment on it before everyone else.
Absolutely. I always make a point of checking that one there and doing stuff over there. So yes, that'll be the show, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and we will be back again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.